in the online world. There's been some meme drama going on. So supposedly, the person I was chatting with in 2022, whose account got taken over, hacked, compromised, logged into by her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, I have no idea. I don't know if I'll ever know the answer to that. Somebody from Kiwi Farm said that they found a parking ticket or a traffic ticket of hers, and the 1004 apparently means that this chick was when she messaged me, despite her telling me that she was 19, despite her having 18 plus written on her profile, whatever else. So that's been the memes recently on that Rose chick. I will say that if she lied to me about her age, it's pretty crazy that her boyfriend at the time was just, I guess, pumping out crazy amounts of, what do you call it, I guess, with her. I don't know if anybody has looked into that or if anybody cares about that, but that's where those memes are at right now. I have how old is the boyfriend? I have no idea. I never found any information on him, and nobody ever cared to look for him because they only care about taking me down. Yeah, I watched Hassan do like a 8-hour read through of my entire recent Kiwi Farms thread on his stream the other day, which I thought was kind of interesting, listening to him read through leaked. One other person has like leaked messages from me before, and some people are like conflating some of these messages as being from the same person and random. I don't really feel like reading off my messages on stream. I think it's kind of chill, or not chill. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I think it's kind of cringe. Can't you just chill with women, dude? So I've said this and I'll say it again. Like, all of this is from the leak back in 2022. They just keep finding ways to re-dig it up and refresh it and find whatever other new thing they can, I guess, about it. But they really farm that Kiwi, huh? Yeah. That's really all there is for that. Is this all from Jew Stalker / Hassan Mods? Well, it's from the Kiwi Farms thread, and then it's the same thing as before. From the Kiwi Farms thread, and then it filters up to Gisticle and everybody else. And now, obviously, they all want to do debates and talk about it constantly. So if I understand this correctly, people are assuming the age. Does anyone know her actual age? There's a ticket that was found, like some traffic ticket that purports that the 1004 means that she was born in October of 2004. If that is the case, for some reason they didn't check the box on the ticket. But I mean, I don't know who this person is, I guess, like in terms of their birth records or anything. Like, I don't have any of that information, and I have no way to access that information. So, didn't she have a Tinder account too? Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had every reason to believe this person was older than they were in college. They had a Tinder account. I mean, they sold work material on Twitter. And supposedly they recorded a ton of stuff for their boyfriend, they said, who I'm pretty sure is the guy who stuff. Although I don't know that 100%. I don't know if I'll ever know that 100%, but can't you still subpoena her? Well, that would have to be for a totally separate court case that I would pursue. I'm still not 100% on if I'll do anything related to that, just because of because all of the money I'm spending on the Pixie case, and two, I don't even know if it'd be worth it at this point. If there's any, I don't know if there's anything to be gained from going down that road. But maybe I'll see when my Pixie thing is over. Yeah.
The internet has no erasers. Once typed, once sent, once whispered into the abyss of a glowing screen, words take on a second life beyond the fingertips that birthed them. They stop belonging to the author and become fossils, preserved for strangers to excavate, reinterpret, and weaponize. This is the nightmare Destiny walks into yet again, his private correspondence pulled from the shadows of servers, regurgitated by enemies, and broadcast to an audience that confuses voyeurism for justice. There is no court in this drama, at least not in the legal sense. The court is digital, unstructured, chaotic, and eternal. The jury is whoever happens to scroll by. The judge is the algorithm that decides which leak gets promoted to trending outrage. And the sentence: eternal suspicion. Hassan, with his unrivaled appetite for turning spectacle into sermon, reads these leaks aloud, as though delivering scripture. Hours spent on another man's intimate fragments, spinning them into entertainment for a chat room that revels in the humiliation of a rival. What might have been an exchange between two people in 2022 now becomes a public text reanimated by enemies who neither know nor care about the truth. At the center of this farce is Rose, a ghostly figure who exists not as a person but as a set of data points, a Tinder profile, a claim of age, a traffic ticket unearthed by digital archaeologists. She becomes less a human being and more a battleground, the canvas on which accusations of impropriety are painted. The absurdity lies in how the internet transforms her into myth. She is no longer Rose, she is the idea of Rose. A cipher used to cast suspicion on Destiny, a riddle people pretend they've solved because they've seen a birth year on a citation. No one asks about the boyfriend uploading material, the circumstances of the hack, the endless contradictions. They don't care. In digital mob justice, only one figure matters, the man at the center. The ghost becomes a weapon. For Hassan, the leaks are not evidence but performance. 8 hours of reading aloud, reacting, embellishing. It isn't about truth, it's about dominance. The act of exposing is more important than the content itself. This is the paradox. The private chats themselves are banal. Jokes, flirty lines, forgettable exchanges. Stripped of context, they don't prove malice, they don't prove predation. What they prove is the ease with which private intimacy can be twisted into public theater. Hassan knows this. He leans into it. He becomes the narrator of another man's life, savoring the chance to place his rival on trial without ever offering him the courtesy of defense. It is cruelty disguised as commentary, entertainment disguised as concern. The digital age has perfected this ritual, humiliation as content. Destiny, confronted with the grotesque resurrection of his private life, toys with the idea of legal retaliation. Could the leakers be sued? Could subpoenas drag the ghost of Rose into a courtroom? Could the endless threads of Kiwi Farms, the cesspool of obsessive archivists, be confronted in the real world where libel and invasion of privacy have consequences? But lawsuits require energy. They demand time, money, the will to drag chaos into order. Destiny already bleeds resources in other battles, legal wars that have left him weary. To add another lawsuit to the pile is to invite more circus, more spotlight, more oxygen to the very fire he wishes would suffocate. And so he hesitates. The law offers no true relief in the digital age. By the time a case winds its way through the courts, the leak has already done its damage. The audience has already judged. The mob has already moved on to the next scandal. Legal victory becomes meaningless when the internet never forgets. The fixation on age is predictable. In online morality plays, the arithmetic of birthdays becomes holy scripture. A traffic ticket becomes sacred text. Numbers become more important than context, circumstances, or truth. Did she say she was 19? Did her profile display 18 plus? Did her boyfriend upload material without consent? These complexities evaporate the moment a date of birth is waved in the air like a smoking gun. What the mob never acknowledges is the absurdity of treating strangers' digital breadcrumbs as definitive proof. A profile here, a citation there, all pieced together by obsessives with no accountability. They create a narrative and call it truth, then demand the accused disprove what was never coherent to begin with. Is Kafka rewritten for the internet? You are guilty until you prove the inconsistencies of your accuser's gossip. The strangest part of this entire ordeal is not the leak itself, but the sheer devotion of those who amplify it. Hours spent combing through obscure forums, digging up scraps of information, assembling timelines, presenting theories. Hassan reading 8 hours of private chat is not the action of a critic. It is the action of a man enthralled by another's downfall. The forums that gather these leaks are not neutral. They are cults of hatred, communities sustained by the thrill of destroying someone they'll never meet. Destiny becomes less a man and more a totem, an effigy burned to fuel the joy of strangers who measure their own worth in how effectively they can dismantle his. There is no way to defend oneself against leaks. Explanation is futile. Context is ignored. Evidence is distorted. The very act of defending oneself becomes proof of guilt in the eyes of an audience that doesn't want resolution, only spectacle. Destiny knows this. He understands that no matter how many times he explains the timeline, no matter how many times he emphasizes the information available to him at the time, no matter how many times he clarifies the lies of others, the mob will not relent. The mob does not want truth, it wants fuel. And so the leaked messages are not debated for what they say, but for what they could imply. Every word becomes a weapon. Every clarification becomes another excuse to keep the drama alive. This is the curse of the digital age. Humiliation never ends. What might once have been a temporary scandal now becomes an eternal artifact. Screenshots live forever. Threads never die. The mob resurfaces the same material year after year, repackaging it as fresh outrage. Destiny's chats from 2022 resurface in 2024, 2025, and beyond. Each time, the same accusations are recycled, the same numbers waved like banners, the same debates replayed. It does not matter how many times he addresses it. The ritual is endless. This is the true punishment, not the accusation itself, but the inability to move on. The leaks are less about truth than about ensuring he is forever chained to a single narrative, never allowed to exist outside it. Lost in all of this is Rose herself. Stripped of humanity, reduced to an exhibit, her existence becomes a weapon wielded by strangers. Whatever her age, whatever her choices, whatever her reality, none of it matters. She is not treated as a person, but as a prop. Also forgotten are the countless bystanders dragged into this theater. The families, the communities, the innocents who never asked to be involved, but are swept up as collateral damage. In the pursuit of humiliation, the mob spares no one. This is the cruelty of the leak economy. The hunger for spectacle outweighs any concern for the people consumed by it. Destiny's story is not unique. It is the story of every public figure in the digital age. Private words will be exposed. Enemies will weaponize them. Audiences will revel in the humiliation.